All right, fastest 15 minutes on the internet, fastest 15 minutes in social media. My name is Judson Powell, and hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Please hit the subscribe button for me, and hit the notification button so you can be informed when I go. Well, I can't go live, but when I do post new videos. Anyway, still talking about the coronavirus. Been doing a lot of research about the coronavirus, and so because there's a lot of fiction out there, and some truth, but a lot of fiction. And once again, all the people I've been called a lot of names, moron, this, that, and the other thing. Been told I don't know what I'm talking about, this, that, and the other thing. But the one thing that I do is I do research. All right. So now, as we all know, the NBA has suspended play. Some reports say that it's for the rest of the season. Some reports say that it's just until this whole thing passes over. Then there's also the NCAA basketball tournament, March Madness. I guess they're going to play the games without crowds. So I don't know what that's all about. But anyway. Because, and then I guess so the protocol at this point is to keep people away from each other or whatever. Okay. So now, here's the thing, and you have to put all of this, once again, put it all in perspective. There are approximately, it was 85,000 cases of the flu, right? And out of those 85,000 cases, basically about 1,000 people died. But here's the facts about the coronavirus. Even the people that in Italy, okay, 70%, and in China, 70% of the people that got the coronavirus recovered. They didn't die. All right, so just to say that somebody has coronavirus does not mean that it is a death sentence. The people that died were basically the same type of people that died from the flu. All right, a lot of people die. All right, people die, folks. It just happens. All right, and what I'm trying to get at is that there's this widespread panic. The reason behind the widespread panic is the finances of the United States of America. It is the smokescreen and mirrors. It is the story behind the story in order to keep y'all at bay. All right, and here's the thing. The United States government, the stock market has basically crashed. All right, the stock market has crashed. Yesterday, the stock market opened and it fell 1,000 points, right, in an hour. Okay, people are divesting their money from the United States of America. People are pulling their money out. All right, with the shutdown of major sports events and all of that, you don't realize is that's what fuels our economy. All right. The other thing is the 30% tax cut, which I've been harping on. I've been telling y'all, you got to figure out a way to pay for this tax cut. They talk about cutting programs. There's no money. There's no money in programs. They keep talking about, we're going to cut Medicaid. We're going to cut Medicare. We're going to cut, welfare. We're going to cut food stamps. We're going to cut this. We're going to cut that. We're going to cut Social Security. But guess what? That's not enough money to replace all of the trillions of dollars that you gave back to United States corporations last year. All right. So now the chickens are coming home to roost. You cannot give a 30% tax cut to all of the biggest corporations in the United States of America and then have a financial or a tax base because the money is just not there. That's why the government, and if you notice during the Trump administration, the government has shut down several times. All right. And we've had to go, Congress has had to go to last minute things in order to get funding in order to keep the federal government up and running. All right. We are $22 trillion in debt, and it's estimated that by the end of this month, we might be $24 trillion in debt. All right. We owe money. We are in debt. So how can you give money back that we already don't have? It's irresponsible. It's not. If you do that at your house, if you decide that you're not going to pay your bills and you just let your bills pile up, guess what? Eventually they come and what do? They repossess your house. They come and they repossess your car. They foreclose on your mortgage, et cetera, et cetera. Well, that's what's happening to the United States of America in the midst of this coronavirus. And it's the smokescreen and mirrors so that they have an excuse. They have an excuse. For Bush, it was 9/11. All right. for Daddy Bush and for Reagan, it was always starting wars, because that's how the Republicans, that is the whole trickle down economic thing, and saying that it's going to all trickle down. What did Bush do after 9/11? And then they had conflicts in the Middle East the whole time, Desert Storm and all of these things that we've been literally in Afghanistan, Iraq, and Iran forever, right? And the whole time, what do? They send money into defense contractors. They spend big money on defense contractors. As a matter of fact, one of my frat brothers posted something today about how they're spending all this money on these new fighter jets, but we don't have universal health care, when smaller countries, less organized countries have universal health care, and their people are in much better shape health wise. Okay, but that's what the Republicans do. So that's their thing. So this is their smoke screen and mirrors. They tried to start a war. Okay, when they bombed Iran, when Trump bombed Iran, that was his thing. He was trying to start a war so that they could run a wartime economy. And I'm telling you, go back and do your research, and you will see that every time there has been a collapse in the stock market or something like that, it's been because of a wartime economy, or because of a tax cut that went to rich people. Because that's always their marching orders. Cut taxes, cut taxes, cut taxes, but they cut taxes for the wrong people. It's like, okay, so I give the rich people all of the money, and that's basically what trickle down economics is. I give the rich people all of the money, and supposedly they're going to give it back, right? It's like, and it never works that way. We never get, the money has never, look, since Ronald Reagan started this whole thing, that's Reaganomics, okay? Reaganomics has always been, but you know what it's always been? It's always been, we are importing drugs. Just like, okay, how long have we been, and I'm going to bring this up, how long have we been in Afghanistan? Okay, I think somebody said it was like 17 years we've been in Afghanistan. And now, what is the biggest crisis facing the United States of America? Even Trump said it at the beginning of his presidency. He was talking about the addiction to what? To heroin, to black tar heroin, and these opioids. Where do you think they come from, and what do you think the source of these opioids is? It's Afghanistan, because they grow basically most of the poppies in the world are grown in Afghanistan. So why are we there? And it's the same thing. Just like when Reagan put crack cocaine on the streets. What? Because it stimulates the economy. Because what? People are going to buy it. People are going to die from it. People are going to kill over it. People are going to do all kinds of stuff. And that's what we do. That's the Republican way. And I don't care what anybody says, but if you notice, and then go back again and go back and notice, when there's a Democratic president, the country basically is run soundly economically. The jobs and everything else increase. That's basically Clinton's plan, which Obama used. Okay, that's how the economy got restored. The economy got restored because Obama took a page out of the Clinton administration's economic plan, and it worked. So for all of this stuff that everybody talks about Clinton and Obama, guess what? Every time they've been in the office, in the Oval Office, the economy is like solid, rock solid, and we're not at war. In fact, what was it? The Chinese leader, he said what? He said if the United States didn't spend so much money on war, they'd have so much money that it would be, it would be ridiculous. And then that's the other thing. We're $22 trillion in debt. And who do we, I mentioned this on the other video, who do we owe all of this money to? Because see, we are indebted to the world economy. Because we owe people 22, when you say the deficit, we owe people $22 trillion. We owe $22 trillion. And see, when we use these other words, it makes it seem like it's a little bit different, but it's not. We are in debt $22 trillion. And the stock market is crashing, which means that people are not investing in our companies. because we're unstable. That's what it means. And that's what the residue of the tax cut is. So now they have to bring up what? The coronavirus. The coronavirus has been, and I keep telling everybody this, look, even this strain, they keep telling, oh, it's a new strain. No, it is not. The coronaviruses are a whole bunch of viruses, all right? And they've been around forever. That's what I keep on trying to tell you. But now all of a sudden, everybody is, and people have been dying from the coronavirus for years. Because and like we keep saying, look, it's Purell, hand sanitizer and Lysol, bleach, ammonia, certain things will kill it. So it's not the most, and like I said, and 70% of the people that did not recover, they were elderly people or people who already had respiratory problems. That's why they were susceptible to it. And the other thing is, in China and in China, in the Middle East, and in the Middle East, China, the Middle East, and in Italy. That's what I'm trying to get to. In Italy, right? It's because they ingested it. All right. It wasn't because it was airborne. They were eating something that had the virus attached to it. So they were ingesting the virus. They weren't just, breathing air and then falling out, dying, which is how people have characterized this. And that's not how it goes. These spores, if you look, and they got pictures of this stuff all over everywhere. If you look, the molecules have spores attached to them. And what happens is those spores attach to your lungs, or they attach to, some part of your respiratory system, right? And then once they attach, then you can't breathe. So you have problems breathing. And of course, if you're an older person, that's going to kill you, right? But you notice that young people, even babies, all of these people are recovering, and certain people are not getting it, period, because and that's what's killing me. They trying to research and find out why aren't black people getting it, because black people are not contracting it. That basketball player, he was half European, right? But even he didn't die. That's what I'm trying to say, y'all. People are not dying from this. 70% of the people who have gotten it have recovered. Some of the people that died, they died because they didn't know what they were dealing with. Like some of the people that were like at the front lines, and they were first discovering that people had it, but they were walking around unprotected, uncovered, and then the other thing is the vaccine. Some people are saying that there's a vaccine. Other people are saying that the vaccine isn't ready and all this kind of stuff. And then some people are saying it's going to be a mandatory vaccine. But like I said, it's just like the flu vaccine. I have never taken a flu vaccine, ever. And I have never had the flu. Because it has to do with your health. If you take care of your health, if you take care of your hygiene, just like my mother, God rest her soul, but I tell you what, she'd be like, wash your hands, boy, wash your hands. I felt like I wash my hand 100 times a day, but it works. I got my hand sanitizer with me look, y'all think it's a joke. I keep it with me, but I had that before. Coronavirus. I didn't just start doing that because the coronavirus came. You should be sanitary at all times. And the other thing is, and stay hydrated. Half of these people die because what? They're not hydrated. So if spores attach to something, and guess what? It's just like anything else. Use common sense. If you rinse it out, if you keep on rinsing, and you keep on drinking, guess what? It's gonna come out. It's not going to stay in you. What do they tell you? Drink plenty of fluids, stay hydrated, because what? Because that's the only way to pass something out of your body. It's not that complicated, and it's not dangerous. It's not like people think that, you get the coronavirus and you just pass out. Tom Hanks and his wife just said that they were diagnosed with it, but they're not dead. People get diseases, y'all. People get sick, but everybody does not die. All right, just realize that, and realize that they trying to do something to keep you from realizing that they done messed up the money. The money is messed up. Fastest 15 minutes is over. The money is messed up.